Hello and welcome in. This is Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist, and welcome to the Mad Science Lab podcast. Today, we are continuing on with the My Thoughts on My Team series, and I had this one saved because I knew who would want it. Here to break down the LA Rams is Tim Riley. Tim, thanks for joining me.
Hey, what's going on, Aaron? I appreciate the invite, man. You know, I love talking football with you. Been on each other's pods quite a few times now, and I'm always happy to talk about my team.
I officially I've been on my show now more than I've been on yours. It only took me 2 months of making 14 shows a day before that happened, but I've officially on my pod now. So, all righty. You want to take a second here? Tell everyone where they can find your work?
Of course. You guys can follow me on Twitter at FF_Rees. I write for the Dynasty Football Factory with Aaron over at the FF League Winners. And you can give my podcast a follow at Frontline_FF. I forget about that sometimes. Yeah,
I just always type in Fantasy Frontline on Twitter when I tag it, and that's how I find it. So
yeah, check us out, give us a follow on YouTube. Got some great content coming through.
That's a real tough one. I've discovered the secret to success for Twitter, but not YouTube. YouTube, I'll look and I'll get 800 views on a video and like 2 likes and 1 follow, and I'm like, well, my ratio there is not great, but what can you do starting out? So
hey, every follow counts. Every follow, subscription, you know, it all means something.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into your LA Rams. We have the starter is Matthew Stafford, if he is healthy. Hopefully he will be. And the backup is listed as newly drafted rookie Stetson Bennett. What are your thoughts on these two here?
I hope we don't have to see Stetson Bennett play this year, but I mean,
it's possible.
As a Rams fan, the kid wins. You know, he's been a winner at every level of the game, and I think he'll be a great locker room guy. You know, we spent a very late round pick, so I don't see any real threat to Matthew Stafford as long as he stays healthy.
If Stafford stays healthy, where do you see Stafford? I don't think he's in a top 12 spot anymore. What do you think his ceiling is? QB 13, 14, 15, lower?
We're lacking some weapons this year, so I've got him around a QB 15. I think he's still a solid value right now in most drafts, dynasty or redraft. He's going off the board around QB 20. He's one of the last quarterbacks picked. He's down there around like Desmond Ridder, you know, and
wow.
Yeah, it's wild. This guy just finished putting up, prior to last year's Super Bowl season, he just finished putting up top 5 quarterback numbers, I believe.
Yeah, when he was with the Lions, even it was 5,030 touchdowns every year. So,
yeah, and we still have Sean McVay, who's an offensive genius guru, whatever you want to throw on there, whatever label. The guy can put up some points with a healthy offensive line and a healthy weapons. So I'm really interested, and I think people are really sleeping on Matthew Stafford.
All righty, moving on to a running back room that's pretty interesting. We have starter Cam Akers, if he can stay out of the doghouse. Newly drafted rookie Zach Evans, last season rookie Kyren Williams, and I feel like the season before's rookie Ronnie Rivers. There's also a UDFA, but I didn't have room on the depth chart, and for the life of me, I'm drawing a blank on it. Who is it? Tyon Evans? Did they draft 2 Evans here? It's someone I really liked. I think it's Tyon Evans.
It is.
I couldn't fit that
on Sleeper. I have to look into it. It's just Cam Akers and Kyren Williams on Sleeper. Obviously, you got to throw Zach Evans there. I think Kyren Williams is kind of done.
Well, what do you think of this running back room in general? What are your thoughts?
It's going to be tough to see who comes out, you know, for that RB2 position. Is it going to be Zach Evans? I don't think it's going to be Kyren. but I don't think Cam Akers is going to see that full workload,
It,
especially with the Achilles injury prior. So
it is
it's
Tion Evans to follow up.
Tion.
I looked at he's not listed on any of the depth charts, but he did sign with them as a UDFA, and I definitely like him over Kyron Williams and Ronnie Rivers. Zach Evans, I've been the low guy on. I think there's a work ethic attitude issue with him. He
Mm-hmm.
is my version of Bo Callahan. It's just I think the guy's a bust. So I think if this isn't the Cam Akers show, I'm going to be taking lots of taxi squad shots on Tion Evans, a guy who's not even coming up on the ESPN depth chart right now, but that shows how much faith I have in the rest of this running back room. Is anybody you do like in this room?
I'm really just looking at Cam Akers. I don't think anybody else is going to be fantasy relevant. I think we're going to see something like a 65% share opportunity share out of that backfield for Akers, and then 35 split amongst the rest of these guys just to see until somebody emerges. Purely from a talent standpoint, I mean, I think I got to go Zach Evans. I'm not quite as taken back by the
Oh no, the talent's
personality.
there. The
Right.
talent's there. He's always walked in and has been the best player at every school and
Mm-hmm.
somehow gets beat out by an inferior back. And it's just he just doesn't earn it. He goes in and expects it to be handed to him and gets beat out every time. And I just think that'll happen again here with Tion Evans or Kyron Williams or whoever the hell it is who beats him. But
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's going to be like a 35% split amongst those four guys: Tion Evans, Kyron Williams, Ronnie Rivers, Zach Evans, and I just got to go with the talent, and I'm going to
yeah,
say Zach Evans kind of separates himself. But I haven't watched too much of Tion Evans, so or yeah, Tion Evans, you said.
Tion Evans. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Look
so
him up after. No,
I have
nobody
to
has.
dig in. I have to dig into him a little bit
Yeah.
more and just see what this guy's about.
On a side note, are you in that creators league? Yeah, you're in the co-managers league.
Yes, I am.
I think we're one pick away from finally finishing the rookie draft. That startup draft took us 2 months. That's the longest draft
It
I've ever
was
seen in my life.
crazy.
And okay, the rookie draft started at the exact same time. I had 5 rookie drafts starting up at the exact same time at 1 p.m. the day after the draft. It's
Mm-hmm.
the only one that's still going by like 5 days.
Yeah.
Slowest league I've ever seen. Fun league, lots of good contacts. Holy shit, I can't believe this thing's not over. But moving on to the wide receiver room, we have Cooper Kupp as the unquestioned alpha here. Hopefully he will be healthy. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have a bunch of could be's. Van Jefferson had potential. Skoranek was good last year. Well, not good, but he was serviceable when called upon. Tutu Atwell seems to be a perennial bust. Lance McCutcheon almost cracked fantasy relevance last year. And Puka Nakua, the rookie. Is there anyone here you like besides Cooper Kupp, or is it just Kupp and nothing else?
Uh, I mean, if I have to pick a guy, I really like Van Jefferson. I believe he was a third round pick. Um, the guy has really solid route running and can get down the field, intermediate routes and such. Really, he's really a nice compliment to Cooper Kupp. He just hasn't quite had the experience, and with some time to sit back and really get a thorough knowledge of the offense. I do like him this year. He's not going to break out by any means. He's not going to be like a top 24 guy, but I do like him as a nice depth piece. Finish around wide receiver 35, and if you got a couple flexes, then in a deep league, I really like Van Jefferson.
Where do you think Kupp ranks in your wide receiver rankings for redraft? You got him at 3, 5, 6, 7? So I assume Jason Jefferson above him, probably.
Of course.
Redraft. Yeah.
I'll take
Redraft, though, not dynasty.
Yeah, Chase, Jefferson, Diggs, Adams. I mean, those are all kind of the same tier of player.
AJ or Lamb?
Just coming off the ACL. I'll take AJ and Lamb, and I think that's about where I'm slotting Cooper
So
Kupp
he's
in.
about 6 or 7 right now. I think that
give or
seems to be
take.
consensus.
Yeah, I think that seems about fair. I mean, obviously he has that wide receiver 1 overall upside, but just coming off the ACL And
No. We've had this before. It
or
wasn't an ACL. This is the problem. This is why he's falling so much, though. Everyone thinks because it's always ACLs with all these guys. It's not. It's a high ankle sprain, and they rested him at the end. He was healthy. For me,
you're
it's not
right.
even the
You're right.
injury. For
Ankle.
me, it's Stafford's injury. I have no confidence in any quarterback besides Stafford, and my worry with Kupp is my worry about Stafford. I think Kupp will be ready to go week 1, full speed ahead. It's just, will he have competent enough quarterback play to get by? But I do like that. You're not the first person to say that. I hear that all the time. Well, he's a 30-year-old receiver coming back from an ACL injury. No, he's not. He's coming back from a high ankle sprain.
He got his ankle surgery 4 months ago. So
yeah,
right around the Super Bowl, a little bit before. So he's had enough time to really come back and get his rehab right. So I expect big things as long as Matt Stafford stays healthy. I'm banking on Matt Stafford to stay healthy this year. I think they're going to try to win, but it's such a weird team construction.
Yeah, it's not a great looking roster for a team that traded away all their picks. The cupboard's looking kind of bare here. They sure could have used that number 6 pick.
But we did make a lot of picks to shore up the offensive line in the draft, which I really like.
It's just not the fantasy relevant players aren't the ones that are being reflected. So
right, I think it will reflect these fantasy relevant players, and I think
well, you got to build from the inside out. So
right,
just the inside players aren't fantasy relevant, so you don't see it.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very nice offense. Mid running back 2 numbers for Akers. At a minimum, high-end wide receiver 2 numbers for Cooper Kupp, and then, a QB 15-ish type of performance. But I don't think that's an indictment on what Matthew Stafford can do. I think it's more these quarterbacks are starting to put up more fantasy numbers in general, and so that's going to push him down.
The tight end room, it's an interesting one. Tyler Higbee, Bryson Hopkins, and Hunter Long. I think Higbee's been a pretty solid value last year and this year. Although in a lot of leagues, I seen that midway through the season that he was a value. Loaded up on him, recommended him to a few players, and sure enough, he tailed off at the end of the season right when I started touting him. So, oops, my bad to my cousin. Sorry about that. Forget who he dropped, but I said, drop that guy. Higbee's on a roll. Higbee will guide you through the playoffs. Week 1 of fantasy playoffs, Higbee sucked, and whoever he dropped was good. So I regret that. But what are your thoughts on this tight end room? The Higbee show?
It's got to be the Higbee show. I thought Bryson Hopkins was going to get some more playing time last year, and I didn't quite see it. So Sean McVay's obviously seeing something there that Tyler Higbee is the guy for this foreseeable future. He was a PPR tight end 6 last year in one of my leagues. I don't know if that's tight end premium league or not, but I do like Tyler Higbee as a value right now. I think you can get him around like tight end 20 or so, like probably going undrafted. I think he's definitely going to see some work because I don't see Ben Skoranek or any of these wide receiver 3, 4, 5, these other guys really seeing too much action.
I'm not laughing at you, Tim. Can you tell I've had my party crashed recently? I have an 8-year-old who's decided that I've filmed all day and he's crashing the party. He just can't decide if he's going to poke his head on the camera or not. So that's why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at your take. I'm laughing at what's going on right there. So,
hey,
you're going to say hi, or you're just going to go watch your thing?
Hi.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Okay. All right. Go back to your YouTube while we're making a video. Sorry about that, Tim. Thanks for your patience.
There's no worries.
I know it's a little early for ADP for redraft, and I'm not sure if you're into many underdog best ball drafts, but that's what I've been using. Based on where you think these guys are going to go in drafts, who's someone you think you're going to target on the Rams that's going to be good value?
I think it's going to be Akers or Stafford.
Yeah. Stafford, especially in Superflex, because like you said, what'd you say he was going? 24, 25?
He's going way down, like at I think around 20.
You said Desmond Ridder. That speaks for itself. So
right, he's like the last of like the startable quarterbacks taken. It's ridiculous.
When you're in a range with Desmond Ridder and Davis Mills, you're a value, unless you're Davis Mills or Desmond Ridder, of course. But, I like those 3. I think Stafford and Higbee are my targets. Cam Akers depends on where he goes. Some people love him, some people hate him. He's one of those guys where it's, go buy Cam Akers. But the problem is when you go to buy Cam Akers, only one manager in your league loves Cam Akers, and that's the
he's already
manager
got
who
him.
owns Cam Akers. So you're not buying low on him. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, everything is price dependent. In dynasty leagues, I've seen Cam Akers go anywhere from like a mid-second to like a first. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a wide range. I think it's due to, like you said, the owners that love him already have him. But I think we're going to see a very solid season from him, catching balls out the backfield, really putting up that mid-tier RB2 type numbers. And I think he's going to be a great asset on championship teams.
For me here, we have an avoid, and the avoid is obvious. I see a lot of Zach Evans being overdrafted. I mean, the talent was there, but right when they seen he's going to the Rams and Akers is the only one in front of him, he seems to be going well before I'm comfortable taking him. And I think I just like to pass on Zach Evans. Is there someone you think you're going to avoid based on their ADP?
It's got to be Cooper Kupp, honestly. I think there's just...
Scared of the injury or scared of the price?
I'm scared of the price attached to him. If he, at his price, if he doesn't put up a wide receiver one season, not wide receiver one overall, but just top 12 season, then you blew a high value draft pick. You know what I mean? And I'm all about
that his ceiling.
Yeah. And that's just not something I'm very comfortable with.
That's fair enough. All right. 14th in the NFC last year. Where do you think they finish in the NFC West, just in their division?
I'm going to have to go third.
So 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and the Cardinals are last in the NFL?
Yeah. Cardinals should be having the number one pick and then trading that away, hopefully to the Rams, so we can get.
I don't think Kyler Murray plays this year. I think he's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks, and by the time he's finally healthy enough to play, they're going to be 1-8 or 1-9 or whatever it is, and they're just going to say, "Let's sit him out." So, can you close that, please?
Yeah, they'll just be done for the season. He'll play like one game, and then they're just going to shut him down.
Then you're going to get to deal with Caleb Williams. Although I don't know what Kyler's situation is. You think that's another podcast anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. 5-12 last year. So 5 wins this year. Over, under, or the same?
I'll go over, but not by a lot. I'll say it's somewhere around, 6 to 7 wins. Nothing crazy.
That's what I was thinking too. 5-6 wins. Like I said, I think they'll grab 2 from the Cardinals just because they're going to be so bad. And they always seem to steal one from one of their division rivals, either the 49ers or more likely the Seahawks, because I don't know, they seem to play up to their division rivals and steal one away. All right, Tim, thanks for joining me. You want to take one more chance here to tell everyone where they can find you and your work?
Yeah, you can give me a follow at Twitter. Handles on the bottom at FF_Reez, REEZ. You can find my work at DFF, Dynasty Football Factory. The FF League winners, of course, with you, and the Fantasy Frontline podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me, Tim. This has been my thoughts on the LA Rams with Tim Riley. Once again, I'm Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist, and this has been the Mad Science Lab podcast. Thank you, Tim, and thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night.